Dating. It's more than just the dates holding hands and kissing. It's about accepting each other's weirdness and flaws. It's about accepting being yourself and finding happiness together. Well, the main component of dating, essentially, is love. Love is knowing someone's weaknesses and not taking advantage of them. Dating and finding genuine love, as well, is hardest. Let's see the impact of dating with genuine love on Elyse Rucker. Here we go. Before the onset of the pandemic in 2020, Elyse was going on dates with men she'd met on various dating apps. She'd recently moved back to her hometown to finish graduate school, and the proverbial sea had a lot less fish in it. The year before, in 2019, she'd broken up with her boyfriend of 2.5 years and had been single since. Well, moving toward her higher self-worth, and once you realized you deserve to be treated better than you have been getting treated, dating becomes more hard. In 2018, Elyse had seen a video about a man named Jason who was in search of love, genuine love. He was handsome, adventurous, and a fun-seeking guy. He was 10 years older than Elyse. It so happened, Elyse didn't consider age as a vital issue in a relationship after a certain age. His sisters had uploaded a video to find a partner for Jason, their brother. Incidentally, dating will be even harder for Jason because he's disabled. At the time of his birth, Jason was a healthy baby, but later on, due to some health issues, his hearing sense was affected and also got affected with cerebral palsy. The video fascinated Elyse, but why, she doesn't know. At that time, she was dating her previous boyfriend. On watching the video, he made nasty comments about it. Fast forward to March 2020. Elyse was casually scrolling through Facebook during the pandemic when she saw a video about an interabled couple, fairly a new term to her. She instantly remembered Jason and his search for love. She sent an introductory email, eager to know if he had found his love yet. She spent 6 days excitedly waiting for a reply, and then forgot about it until April 1st. To her surprise, she received a reply from Jason himself. Then what? Communication started through email for weeks together. Their chats were on varied topics, their favorite food, their places of travel, their favorite books and music. They talked as if they'd known each other for a long time. She asked Jason about his disability and what his life had been like because of it. He was open about the disability and explained to her how it had impacted his life. When Jason asked her what she was specializing in, she hesitated to tell him. She was in school for speech-language pathology, or speech therapy. She thought he'd presumed she was talking to him with the intention of getting some work. However, this was not the truth. He did react as expected, but was kind about it. They continued with their emailing. Finally, they exchanged numbers. Then, the texting started. They shared more about their lives and came closer. Elyse didn't tell any of her friends because she was apprehensive that they wouldn't understand her attraction to a disabled man. Not because he was disabled, but perhaps they might not get it. But her friends are awesome. She told her close friends about her new pen pal, and they were very supportive. They had questions about him and his disability, but were happy for her regardless. Jason and Elyse continued on their chatting and getting to know each other. One day, Elyse told her mom about Jason, and also about his disability, and that he'd be flying to Arkansas to meet her in a month or two. Her mother was worried that Jason wouldn't fit into her lifestyle. Elyse is an outdoorsy gal, loves to hike, backpack, kayak, and stay active outdoors. She was worried that being physically disabled would be limiting for her in terms of lifestyle and hobbies. Elyse tried to explain to her that it was okay. Couples didn't have to spend every waking moment together. She could do the things she loves without Jason, or modify them. Her mom was still worried, and wasn't sure why she wanted to date someone with a disability. Elyse pointed out that many conditions are considered disabilities, like her sister, who has type 1 diabetes. Why should a disability make her less worthy? Lots of people become disabled, whether it be a car accident, age, whatever. Disability isn't something that should limit one from finding love. Elyse was a little saddened that her mom was hesitant about Jason before even meeting him, but she thought maybe she'd like him once she met him. In May of 2020, Jason and Elyse set a date for his first visit, late July. The first thing Jason said once he got to Arkansas was, "You guys have a lot of water here," and "Wow, it's so green here." Jason had never been to Arkansas before, and boy, he was in for a real treat. They spent 4 amazing days together, and it was all such a natural feeling. She showed him her hometown of Hot Springs National Park, took him swimming in a creek, it's an Arkansas thing, and introduced him to her mom and her friends. She had to do some adjustments. She knew he was physically disabled, but she didn't quite get to what degree until she met him. Jason, although not a wheelchair user, has limited mobility. Part of Jason's CP is spasticity, which means abnormal muscle tightness due to prolonged muscle contraction. This affects his gait, along with his speech. Being a speech-language pathologist, Elyse would go into more detail about his communication differences, but she knows that it is his CP that affects his ability to communicate easily with others. Being with Jason in a romantic sense, publicly, was a little nerve-wracking for Elyse. No one likes it when people stare at them in public. Some people did stare, but she thought it was because they use American Sign Language, or ASL, a lot when communicating. That's pretty normal for people to stare at, since it's a visual language and it does catch people's eyes very easily. Some people think Jason is unintelligent, and they talk to him like he's a baby, which both of them found to be super annoying. But other than that, most people treat them like any other couple. Elyse was anxious about the manner in which her family and friends would interact with him. A person who's never interacted much with a disabled person, obviously, his first few interactions might be uncomfortable. The person might not know exactly how to interact, like what to say, what to ask, or, more important, what not to ask. It can be a little intimidating. From what Elyse has learned from Jason and other disabled people online, is that they just want to be treated like everyone else, and they're open to questions about how you should interact with them. If you wouldn't say it or do it to an able-bodied person, don't say it or do it to a disabled person. Education is the key to everything in life, especially when interacting with others who are different from yourself. Surprisingly, her family and her close friends who have just met Jason did it wonderfully. Of course, Elyse gave them tips in this regard before they even met him. Her parents were a little hesitant at first, but now they're quite supportive of the relationship. Elyse loved Jason even before she met him in person. She believed he's the sweetest, kindest, and most caring person she's ever met. She struggled very hard to try and hide her love from him, since she wasn't sure if he felt the same. On his last night in Arkansas, they had a long conversation about how the visit went and what they expected out of this relationship. They both concluded that this visit was fruitful, and they wanted to pursue their relationship further. She had previously told Jason she didn't want to rush into anything, and wanted to be cautious, and he respected that. In the end, he admitted he loved her, and told her he didn't expect her to say the same. The next morning, Elyse told him she loved him as well. This newfound love was unexpected, but comforting. Somehow, she was confident that her relationship with Jason would be amazing, because Jason was amazing. The fact that Jason is disabled doesn't decide the working of their relationship. Neither Elyse is in a caregiver's role, since Jason is capable of doing anything. They do normal things together, like eating out, going on hikes, watching movies, etc. There are some things he might need help with, but there are other things he can do that Elyse can't. Everything is pretty transparent in their relationship, right from the start. Elyse is still learning what it means to be in an interlabeled relationship, but she finds her relationship with him to be the most normal relationship she's ever been in. They've been together now for more than a year, and they're happy. He's met her family and friends, and she's met his family as well. They're currently managing a long-distance relationship, but will be moving in together this year. So many memories they've started together, despite the pandemic and the distance. They have fun date nights over video chats. They send each other surprises in the mail, and they've also done some socially distanced traveling. Their relationship reminds her of the quote by Emily Bronte, "Whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same." Jason is constantly doing small things for Elyse. Elyse does the same for him, much like a revolving door in a sense. They are both givers. Their relationship isn't perfect, because no relationship is perfect. They both put in the work to make the relationship as healthy as it can be, regardless of their differences. Here is some exciting news. In July of 2021, Jason proposed, and they're now engaged. They love sharing their story with others via social media. Being in an interabled relationship is not weird or atypical. They want to break the stigma around the disability in dating. Jason's disability is an important part of him, but it's not the most important thing. Disability shouldn't make somebody else less worthy of finding love. Remember, all are diverse humans with diverse abilities and interests. Remember, interabled relationships are socially acceptable. Tell me, should this be such a taboo subject? Don't you think disabled people equally deserve love? Aren't disabled human beings with sexual instincts? Can't disabled people become worthy partners? Jason's disability is a small fraction of what makes him special, and Elyse is fortunate enough to have seen that in the video back in 2018. She felt the need to reach out to him last year, but she's extremely happy that she did. Their relationship might look different from the outside, but it's just two imperfect people learning how to love each other passionately and tackle this funny thing which is called life. Disability or no, you fall in love with the person you fall in love with, and you deal with whatever entails. If you agree, like and share Elyse Rucker's story.